Hey, what's up? This is Ray with Get Real Ray, a place and space for life and business tips from this creative soul. Oh yeah, to hopefully inspire you on your journey, or at the very least, my friend, I want to provide you with some laughs because you deserve to laugh. Ha ha, laugh your little heart out. And so, hey, let's get real. Let's get real about yes and you're like, what? What? Huh? Yes and? Okay, so if you have ever heard of improv or taken an improv class, know anything about improv, then that's what I mean by yes and. If you're like, what are you talking about? Okay, let me help you out. So, in the world of acting, there's a particular style of performance called improv, short for improvisation. And so the actors will find themselves in a shared space, performing a scene in which there isn't a strict script with line by line exactly what everyone must say and do. Maybe there is an idea pre-written that everyone agrees upon, maybe not. But once one actor commits to a phrase, a word, an idea, an action, the other actors must also agree with that decision by saying yes to it, and they must add on to the scenario. Let me give you an example. Say an actor is pretending they have a flashlight and they're shining the flashlight in the dark. Did you hear that, Molly? I think I heard a roar. Actor number 2 can be like, you didn't hear no roar, and why you got that flashlight? Put it away, it's daytime. That ruins the whole scene because then you have conflict. These two actors would be battling in terms of how is the scene going. Okay, so look, truthfully, actor A could be like, oh my gosh, you're right. This flashlight wasn't necessary, and chuck it over their shoulder and then be like, also, I didn't hear a roar. It must have been the pain in my head. There's an alien coming out. But the scene again won't go anywhere if actor B says, you don't have an alien coming out of your head. That's just your head. What's wrong with you? The whole scene is just like, the audience doesn't know what to follow. Like, what is happening? It will lose its ability to be funny very, very quickly if it's constantly, that didn't happen. So good improv is if actor A, flashlight, I heard a roar. Actor B would be like, wait, I think it heard it too. Oh my gosh, shh. Oh, was that a scream? That was a scream. Oh my gosh, we gotta get out of here. Okay, so now we've raised the stakes. We've created an environment where the audience is like, oh, they both think they really heard a roar and now there's a scream? What is happening? It's Jurassic Park. Oh! Okay, so that is good improv. Is actor B would say, yes, this actor A has convinced us that there has been a roar heard and that there's a flashlight present. Therefore, we are either outside in the dark or we're inside and it's dark, but there's a reason for this flashlight, okay? And so actor B confirms what actor A has said. I think I heard a roar. Actor B says, that was a roar, and I think I heard a scream. We're adding to it. Yes, there was a roar, adding to it, I heard a scream. Okay, so Why does this all matter to you? You're like, Ray, I didn't come here for acting class. I came here because I wanted some life or business advice, girl. I know you're creative, but stay on track. I got you. I got you. You know I got you, right? Okay. So I have had to put my foot down. And I feel like there was just a period where I just felt like I was being bullied, to be honest. Okay. When I was married, if you've seen my videos before, then you know I'm no longer married. I used to be married. Okay. Just accept it. Okay. So when I was married, I remember my husband and I moving into this house together. We were renting a house. We hadn't lived together for about 2 years. Not because we were breaking up or anything like that. Just financially, it was what we agreed on, was that we were going to live separately. And I got to say, my marriage was real good when we was living separately. I was able to get my finances back on track. And yeah, I looked forward to phone calls. I looked forward to seeing him. It was really, really good. And then I stupidly said, we should move back in together. It's COVID, for crying out loud. Stupid. Anyway, we were moving back in together. And this was the first time, mind you, we had already been married for like, I think 7 years by this point. And this was the first time he was moving all of his stuff in with all of my stuff, which when I think back at it, I'm like, that's weird. That's really freaking weird. How were you married 7 years and yet you guys never had your stuff really together? But then, you know, the marriage didn't last. So that kind of explains to you why that wasn't a good relationship anyway. So anyway, he moves his stuff in, and this is a 4-bedroom house. And we had kind of agreed where our offices would be, what the living room would be like. And I remember just reaching a point where I was just like, I just give up. I can't. Because there was this dispute about decorating the living room, like furnishing the living room. And I believe we even took this to our therapist. And I remember just begging him, like, can't we just wait 1 more month to buy stuff for the living room? It's not in my budget right now. It was a huge hit for me to have to get out of my lease early. And financially, it would just be better if we can just wait just a month. And he was very insistent. Well, I want it done now. I just want it settled down. I'll just pay for it. I'm like, no, I don't want to have to pay you back. And it's not fair for you to have to pay it. I'm just asking, can we wait? And I remember just like, I can feel that emotion right now. Just feeling so, it's like I was begging. And I didn't think the ask of mine was that big of an ask. And I think our therapist had even said like, oh, well, why do you not want him to just pay for it? Or maybe my therapist never said that. Maybe that's just me misremembering. And maybe we just told her about it after we had already furnished the living room. That may have been a thing too. But for me, I didn't want to owe him money. We had, you know, there had been an exchange of money in the past where I borrowed money from him and wasn't able to fully pay it all back. Later, he borrowed money from me. And I remember doing some work for him in order to kind of emotionally settle for myself that the remaining like $2,000 that I owed him, it's okay that I can't pay it back in money because I'm doing this work that he would have had to pay the same amount to someone else to professionally do for him. So that was the only way I can like get myself to not feel bad about the fact that I couldn't pay him back this money. And that's another thing. In a marriage, y'all shouldn't be borrowing money from each other. Now, mind you, the initial loan was before we were married, but when we were married, he borrowed money from me, I borrowed money from him. We were paying each other back. It was just stupid. It was stupid. It's stupid. And so I remember expressing to the therapist that I did not want to owe him any money. And because it was something that didn't seem like a long period of time, just asking, can you wait? I felt like should have been something to really take in consideration. I also wasn't comfortable with him just paying for things because I knew he really couldn't afford it. And so even if it might seem like he's only putting his own finances in a poor position, it puts our finances in a poor position, because if he can't pay his bills, then when we try to look for another place or, want to get something joint together, we can't do that because he will have a bad credit score because he couldn't pay his bills. So sharing this with the therapist, sharing it with you. And then she had brought up so how do you guys split things, and I was like 50-50, and she's like, really? And why is that, right? And we started the 50-50 thing from when we were dating and never changed it. At one point, he didn't have an income. I was making money. He had been laid off. I was able to work. And so I paid the household bills. Now, I didn't realize that he was pulling out of his retirement to pay other bills that I didn't know anything about. I didn't know. But once he was making more money, he never was like, oh, I should pay more. He didn't even tell me how much he made. I only found out because I had to help with taxes at some point, right? So again, the marriage didn't last. It did not last. But I say all this just to come to the point of I just felt like I was having to say yes to things that I didn't want to say yes to. And I was begging for people to be considerate of my feelings, my needs, my input. After leaving that marriage, I had a family member move in with me at a different location. And I wanted them to feel all the love that they felt that they never had before. And I want them to see that life can be different. You don't have to live in a high stress environment. You don't have to hide. I didn't want any of that for them. And unfortunately, this agreement to live together came at a time in my life where my business was shaky. The sales were at one point, and this was still during Pandy, right? So a couple years out from Pandy, right? So things were reopening, and so my sales were declining. And whereas I felt like I was in a stronger financial position when I said yes, later that financial position definitely changed. But when I had said yes, come, let's do this, I did say, hey, just so you know, you can't smoke any kind of weed here. I have really bad respiratory issues and really sensitive to smells. I can't have it. I can't. And they're like, no problem. And they came, they detoxed all that out of their system until some friend sent them a little care package that had some gummies in it. I don't have a problem with your gummies, right? Whatever. Okay, you really like those gummies and it helped with your pain, so you want me to take you to the store to get more gummies. Okay, fine, right, I'll do it. And then the lady at the store gives you gummies and something else for free. And I'm like, what? Oh, okay. And now I have to take you back to the store again because you need something stronger. And now all of a sudden, I'm coming to talk to you in the house and you stink. Like you stink of weed, right? I mean, there's just no way to get around it. You smell like marijuana. And now we're trying to watch a movie together, and I'm like, I don't really want to sit next to you because you stink of weed. And I'm sure they were trying to be careful and all that stuff. But finally I was just like, I don't know where you're smoking, but I can tell you're smoking. And yeah. And I'm thinking like, this sucks because this is my house, but I have a headache because this person smells. And every time I open that room, they smell of it. And I don't think they were smoking indoors. Maybe they're smoking out the window. I don't really know. I don't even want to think about it right now. But it was really rough. And I remember going to family therapy and having the therapist basically like act like a translator and tell me, oh, well, this family member wants you to take them to go get cannabis and they want you to pay for it. And I was just like, what? And I was so furious after that session, not at that family member, but at the therapist. And I sent the therapist a message afterwards saying, I don't feel like you protected or respected my wishes at all. I still don't think she should ever do the type of therapy she was doing. I think she needs to stick to like really simple cases in terms of people's mental health. But that's a whole other story. And I just remember thinking, what the F? They say, you need boundaries. That's what my other therapist like, oh, you need to have boundaries. You just have to have set boundaries. And honestly, any therapist that just throws the word boundaries at you, I want you to question them and be like, okay, so what do you mean? What is a boundary? What do you mean? And okay, what should I have done differently? What do you think should have been done differently? Can you tell me that? How would you have handled the situation? And when that didn't work, what would you have done? Right? You can tell I'm a little heated. Okay. So again, feeling like I'm trying to get people to, understand, respect, appreciate, and I'm getting pooed on. Moved to this house where I wound up feeling like I was begging the landlord to please fix the floor issue and the mold issue, and then having to go to court. I did take the landlord to court and I felt like I was pleading to the judge, like, you don't understand, this wasn't safe. And just being told, no, you just want money, or your expectations are unrealistic. I'm like, what is happening? So years, people, years of feeling like I was trying to do the right thing and saying no, trying to standing up for myself, and yet just being kicked and pooped on. And just like, what is happening? So after all of that, I'm like, no, I'm just going to say no. I'm just going to be the no girl. And there's a fun, I don't know if you've, I don't know, why would you, right? So Kelly Ripa, who does Live with Kelly, or I guess it's Live with Kelly and Mark now. It used to be Live with Regis and Kathy Lee. There was Live with Regis and Kelly. So anyway, there's this talk show that this woman does. Some of you know what I'm talking about. She has a podcast. I think it's called Off Camera with Kelly or something like that. Or anyway, on the podcast, she talks about her own adventures through therapy and how she has to practice saying no. She's always been a people pleaser, so she has to try to say no more. And I don't consider myself a people pleaser or having a history necessarily of a people pleasing. But I did, after these years of being like, why is no one hearing me? I'm just gonna say no. No, I will not take that house sit. No, I will not work for that piddly amount of money. No, you don't get to just tell me I have to wait and be paid whenever you get around to it. Like, you need to pay me now, or I'm going to sue you or post a bad review or whatever, right? Just really trying to be more firm in the no category. And while it definitely feels better than the why isn't anyone listening to me, I have to say, I was trying to get my laptop fixed and it became extremely stressful. Like, you know, I just feel like it would be the kind of heart problems level of stress that's completely unnecessary. Multiple phone calls. First, you're dealing with the AI agent that's going to try to solve your computer issues. Then you get a human after like more phone calls. And that human's like, oh, try this, try that. And if it still doesn't work, call us back. What? Then having to call back and finally get another human who's like, oh, we'll try this. And I had to say, no, I will not try this and try that. I won't do it. And I said, if I were an 80-year-old woman, would you really be asking me to take these steps? Well, if you just try, no, answer my question. If I were an 80-year-old woman, and you guys, that is one tip to you. If you were dealing with customer support and they are asking you to basically be tech support and you feel like you've done your due diligence, put it back on them. If I was your 80-year-old grandparent, would you be asking me to do this right now? Would you expect for me to know how to do this right now? If the answer is no, then that tells me you must have other solutions, options available for people who cannot do what you're asking them to do. And that's what I made available to me. Done and done. Ding. And so that no got me to a level of being able to sit in the laptop for repair. And then I wound up with another issue where I had to say, no, you do not get an opportunity to try to repair this a second time. This ship has sailed. I want a refund. And there 2 months of trying to get that laptop fixed or get a refund. I finally, you guys, have been cleared for a refund. Thanks, Amazon. And, you know, part of me is just like, I don't want to give these big certain companies that have contributed to funding certain government and that are trying to prohibit unions. I don't want to give them more money. But sometimes these big companies, they are doing good things that we don't always hear about. There's this little side note. There is this ad going around online about how Amazon doesn't like unions, but all the workers are having to work extra hard and risking physical injury in order to allow people to get their orders for time for Prime Day deals and Black Friday deals. But as I was watching this commercial and thinking, oh my gosh, this is horrible. This is so bad. I found myself going, but that vest isn't the Amazon vest color, because I know what that looks like because I've been in the warehouse. That's weird. That's weird. And then I kind of figured, oh wait, I think that vest color is the color of this organization that's trying to do the whole union thing. And so then I started questioning other things, like, how do I know these people actually work in the warehouse? Because I've been in the warehouse. And a lot of the stuff they are saying happens. I haven't seen any evidence of that. So are all the warehouses different? I've been in a few different warehouses. So yeah, and this goes back to, hey, do your own research. Don't just trust everything you see. And it could be very true, everything that this commercial is saying, but I left with questions. So I was like, So anyway, there are many reasons to like and many reasons to dislike Amazon. I still don't like you, Mark Zuckerberg. I still don't like Facebook. I'm not coming back. Poo on you. But yes, so I I've been in my no phase, and it's been feeling pretty good. I have said, someone was like, "Oh, you can pay for your own flight to come and watch my dog," and I said, "No, I'm gonna need for you to pay for that if you want me to watch your dog, and if you don't want me to watch your dog, that's totally fine. Like if you don't want to pay for it, I get it. That's so fine. I'm okay with that, but this shouldn't cost me any money. Like, you're saving hundreds. You're saving almost $1,000 by having me watch your dog for free. Dogs, just saying." So, anyhow, been doing the nose. Was feeling really good about the nose, but look. You might be like, "Ray, this is also fascinating," but here we are. Your videos are usually half an hour, and we're almost done. And you haven't talked about the yes and much. Okay, so I told you, hey, please listen to me. No. Then we are coming out of the no, 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 no phase. I think that was a Destiny's Child song. No, 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 no. He said, yeah, yeah. Okay, whatever. Okay, and so I'm gonna try. Yes, and. Ding. Yes, and. Okay, so I was on set, and this show was improvised. We had some basic information that had to get in. And the writer made it very clear multiple times. This information has to get in. And I remember my co-star, the woman who's playing opposite, she didn't really take to the script. And I remember her saying, like, "This is a lot." And they're like, don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. Just, let's just be natural, right? And they had talked to us about kind of stuff they were looking for. So anyway, when we were recording, and this is not like multiple takes. This is unless the lead needs to stop, you keep going. But it's improv. Yes, and I said something. She said something. And it pissed me off. Because I thought, oh, she's painted me in this corner. But I couldn't say no. So I found something to say that neither fully confirmed or denied what she was saying. But I was really trying to, I got to get the stuff in for the script. So then I said something else. And she said, "That's not true." No, I did not. And I wanted to, in my head, I'm screaming, "That's not how this works." Remember at the beginning of the video, I told you how improv works? That's not how this works. Just go with what I said. I am contributing to the story. I am allowed to add to the story. She had a clear narrative that she wanted to drive, and we're in this together. So I'm allowed to add to the story and to drive it in a different direction if I want to. And I was really pissed that twice I felt like she just, two different things. I mentioned two, but there's three instances where I'm like, oh. So at least twice I specifically said something and she specifically responded with no. And so that just makes my character a liar. Which doesn't quite work for my character, but I'm going to have to make it work. And so even though she didn't adopt yes and, I had to. I had to be a professional. Yes and. I'm not saying she was not a professional. She may not have realized. She may have thought it would be better drama. She may not have that type of training. I don't know. I don't really care. She's a very nice woman. We both did our job. Ultimately, everything came out the way we wanted it to, or the way that, the production team needed it to. But I was really pissed because I'm like, the rules of yes and have been broken. And after that, I said, gosh, I need to do something so that I don't feel like I'm in that situation again, where I'm frustrated that the way I view yes and is not being adapted. But what if I look at just other areas of my life? And instead of saying no, because lately I have been like, no, I will not eat that protein bar. Yes, I'm going to eat that protein bar plus 3 more protein bars. And I think I'm going to have to buy some more protein bars because those things is yummy. Like that's not a good way to adapt yes and. That would be like the other character shutting you down, right? That's not how you practice yes and. That's a bad eating habits, bad improv. Okay. So I'm going to try, if I'm going to eat something that I didn't want to eat, that I've been trying to resist, trying to say no to, which is causing all kinds of emotional turmoil, the same way I was stressed out about that laptop. So maybe I can say, yes, I am going to allow myself that protein bar. I'm not going to judge myself for it. I'm not going to be bad about it. But I'm going to remember this feeling. And I'm also thinking about how I feel after I eat the protein bar. Am I satisfied or do I still want more? And if I want more, what is it that I want more of? That sweet taste? Is there a different way I can get the sweet taste? A feeling of fullness? Is there something else I should be eating in order to have that feeling of fullness? What did I do before I started chowing out on all these protein bars? The next time I step into the gym, will I remember those protein bars? So I'm gonna try this for a week. Just saying yes to pretty much everything that comes my way. Don't message me asking for money, okay? Because you're like, oh, well, she says she gonna say yes, and so maybe if I just ask her to send me $20, she'll be like, yes, and I'll add on an extra $5. I'm not sending you $25. I ain't sending you a dime. But I am going to, I've been I had an opportunity to get a lot of work done this past week. I didn't get as much done as I would have liked to. Yesterday was really kind of tossed out the window because I just wasn't feeling good most of the day. And I had to just accept this work's not getting done. It wasn't a good feeling. And so I want to remember that a lot of the work I put on myself is the work that I've created, and I'm putting that on me. I don't want to punish myself, so I have to be more careful of what I'm choosing as well. So I say all this just because for this week, I'm going to try yes and. Whether that's, yes, I am going to record a video and I'm going to put it in my calendar to make sure I get it done. Or, yes, I am going to go to the gym first thing in the morning and I'm going to make sure that I don't take a nap in the afternoon, even if I feel really tired. I'm just going to play around with adapting and adopting. Adopting that improv mindset to my week and adapting things so that I am not being a people pleaser, doing things that I know I shouldn't be doing or need to do, or giving refunds when no one else would give a refund. Like, sometimes I have to tell myself, if you were Netflix, would you be giving a refund right now? If the answer is no, then keep it moving, girl. Yeah. And if you are a small business owner or a solopreneur, that is something you need to remind yourself, is that if the big companies wouldn't do it, then why am I like all up in my feelings like, oh, I understand, things happen, let me give you some money back. Come on. If these big companies gave a refund to everybody who said they want a refund, these guys would be out of business. They have rules in place for a reason. I will say that when it's just you, it is, for me at least, especially since I'm traveling around, I don't have my rules out in front of me every day. Maybe I should, okay, this is a little weird, you guys. I'm like, maybe I should read my rules every morning. Like people read the Bible every day. Maybe I should read my rules. Okay, that might be a little extreme. But I do have a list that I'm supposed to use before I make big decisions. Like, or anything that I'm conflicted about. Like, oh, should I spend money on that? Look at this list. And we'll go through and it'll tell me the answer right away. Like, nope, you should not waste your money in that. So what's something else you can offer, give, say, do in order to solve the situation? So anyway, yes, and try it. Try it. I made it to the gym this morning. I didn't stay as long as I had initially planned on staying, but I was okay with leaving when I did. I decided that I was gonna go out for a little walk. I was feeling tired, but like, I'm gonna go for a walk. The walk didn't last very long because his dog was like, I don't want to walk far. Okay. Yes, and I guess we can go back home. I managed to record a video. That feels pretty good because I have not been recording them as much as I have wanted to. Not much reason why. So, yes, and yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Now I feel like we need to cut to a shot of me at like 8 o'clock at night trying to resist these protein bars. But no, I think there are seasons of life when we need to say no, emphatically no. And there are seasons in life when we need to say yes. And so I hope you found this helpful. What season of life are you in? Would you let me know in the comments below? Are you in that yes and flow? Are you in that no flow? I hope you're not in that please listen to me flow. That's not a good place to be, baby. Don't be there. Don't be there. I'm trying to think of where that has served me. I don't think it's ever served me. Serves the other person, all right. He got the furniture he wanted for the living room. The other person got free housing, and I didn't buy their weed, but I wound up having to pay for flight tickets to send them back to a place where they can get all the weed they wanted. So, with that being said, bye friends, until next time, peace.